Everyone, my name is Anelia Mangilda. In the subject's ancient cities, my theme is Taraz and Perge. Taraz located in Kazakhstan, and Perge is a city of Turkey. Taraz is one of the oldest cities in Kazakhstan, known already in the 6th century. The city has remained the most important center of non-ferrous metallurgy for centuries. Local craftsmen were designated by high artistic performance on forging and casting. An example of founder art is the ritual cauldron of the mausoleum of Hoja Ahmed Yasavi in Turkestan. One of the oldest cities in Kazakhstan is Taraz. The exact date of its foundation is unknown, but there is information about the formation of the settlement of the same name in the 6th-5th centuries by the Iran semi-nomadic tribes of the Usyns and Saks. Recently, its traces were found in the every center of the city on the site of the Green Market. In the first century of the last era, the settlement made him the representative of the Khonjuk dynasty, Gigi its ruler. Later, the Talas battle took place in the fortress he found, as a result of which the ruler was killed. The following mentions, considered by first from reliable source, fall on the 400th year of the new era. Taras called Talas is mentioned as an important point of the route of the Great Silk Route. The settlement changed owners more than once, among which the Karahanate states, the Mongolian Empire are listed. In 1856, it was named Auliata in honor of the representatives of the Karahanate dynasty. It is said later the settlement came under the Russian command in the 19th century and changed its name more than once, Mirzoyan Jambul, and until the 1997 it was returned to its historical name. Today it's the sixth most populous city and important economic center where more than 150 large industrial entities operate. From the outside, you can observe the progress of archaeological excavation at the site on the ancient settlement. One of the oldest preserved monuments in the cemetery of the Zoroastrians of the 6th-11th centuries, next to which the Tekturmas mausoleum erected in the 19th-15th centuries by the unknown settlement. It is interesting to visit Jambul Museum of Local History about the 35,000 exhibits are collected, telling about the history of Taraz from the more ancient eras. The ancient settlement of Taraz was founded several centuries before our era by the United Tribes of the Usyns and Saks. At the beginning of our era, the tribes of Huns who left China for the Usyns made Taraz the capital. After the Huns settled Europe, the city of Mertikans, as Taraz was called, became the capital of Turgesh and the Karluks and the Karhanids. These lands has preserved tracks and serials, caravanseries, mud huts, and commons, jewels, remote quarters, and craft workshops. In addition, Taraz was also a major metallurgical center. Local craftsmen were famous for the art of the forging and casting. An example of the level of local found art is the ritual cauldron from the mausoleum Ahmed Yasavi in Turkestan. And Taraz was also famous for its women. There were no more beautiful girls in the Sabma world than the inhabitants of Taraz. In any case, this was the opinion of the Greek poet and life lover Omar Khayyam, and he understood female beauty and liked me spent with a young native of Taraz together. The curse of the sweet musk of the night and darker, and the ruby of the lips is more expensive than all the stones. I once compared a figure with a kipis. Now the kipis is fruit to the roots. Taraz is ancient center of non-ferrous metallurgy. Taraz, another city of southern Kazakhstan that was in center of the steppe part of the Great Silk Route, is more than 2,000 years old. The city of Mertens, this has long been called Taraz this capital center of Turkish and the have Karluks and the Karahanits. This land preserves traces of Sicilian caravans, mudhans, and commoners. It turns out that it was here that Turkic Khan Istanbul in 568 received an embassy of Justin II from Byzantium headed by Taraz and who arrived to conclude a military alliance against possible enemies and resolve the issue of silk trade. Skilled storms work on the shores of Talas, whose seals were not much inferior to gold woven, Chinese, and Indian brocade, Byzantine purple. Jewelry art reached great master during the caravan trade. Taraz is the only Kazakh city. It belongs to Eurasia, since of the half caravan's roots as center of science and culture, crafts and trade of the Hajj continent. Taraz reached the peak of its development in the 9th–12th centuries when it became known as the capital of the Karahanid state. Its former greatness is invited by expansive network of water pipes made by clay pipes. The remains of architectural structures, side walls, and paved streets, numerous products of skilled crafts found during excavation. In 1220, Taraz was besieged by Genghis Khan troops and completely destroyed. At the end of the 18th century, life appeared again near its ruins. A fortress was built. The city began to develop readily. Dozens of historical monuments of the former heyday of these places have been preserved in the Taraz region: the mausoleums Karahan and Davulbek, the castle of the rulers, and many others. Neo-modern Taraz, the architectural mysteries of Syrian architecture, the mausoleums of Babaja Khatun, Aisha Bibi, both of them included in the UNESCO World Heritage List. But the city of Akhirtas, located 40 kilometers from Taraz, is interesting for quite another. Its center is a large 3 square kilometers palace. It has an unusual layout and built of stone which is unusual for these places. In all of the southern Kazakhstan, this is probably the monumental building made of large stone blocks. From the outside, you can observe the progress of archaeological excavation at the site of an ancient settlement. One of the oldest preserved monuments in the cemetery of the 13th of the 16th–11th centuries, next to which the Tektirmas mausoleum erected in the 19th–40th centuries by unknown architects. In the eastern part of Taraz, archaeologists have discovered a section of water pipeline about 15 meters long, clay pipes with a size 0.7 and diameter 0.25 meters were connected by clay coupling. They were laying and a kind of a pillow. The water supply was connected to Talas. Under the pressure of strips flow, water was supplied to parts of the city. Undoubtedly, the construction of the water supply system required certain technical knowledge and characteristics and a relatively high degree of engineering thought. At the same time, another excavated object along the bathroom in terms of the recline measuring 36 and 12.4. It is well known how popular baths were the East, so the attention builders today design should not surprise us. Nevertheless, a magnificent decoration of the Taraz bathhouse is invaluable striking, so almost the beautiful remains of foundations, walls, shelves, sitting baths, niches have reached us. Its floor is paved with a baked brick base. The entrance to the bathhouse is made the northern wall. It is a small room with shelves for sitting. The walls are decorated with rich flourishes. The room was connected to the rooms where the baths were located. Niches were arranged in the walls of the room with bars, also filled with refreshers. It was applied to the surface of the plaster, silently polished and relatively resistant to water. In the 19th century, Auliata appeared on the ruins of Taraz, which becomes the flourishing, most beautiful cities of the Republic Jambul, and then in 1998, its ancient Taraz was returned to the city. Perge. Perge is located 18 km from Antalya, near the modern town of Aksu. The distance from Belek to Perga is 30 km, from the Side 60, from the Alanya 120, and from the Kemer 62 km. The city is located 12 km from the near sea, the banks of the Neville Castros River, near Aksuchaya. In ancient times, this location gave the city an advantage for coastal settlement and the same protected it from pirate attacks. History of the city of Perga. Also, there is no consensus about the time of the first settlements on the place. According to legend, the city was founded by Trojans led by Zeus cultures after the Trojan War. Some sources connect the foundation of the city the Achilles, who probably called the cities Parga, and others connect the foundation of the city or migration of the peoples of the sea from the Aegean Islands, the Mediterranean coast in the 12th century. In the 12th century, Perga was a part of Lydia, and after the defeat of Lydia by Cyrus and Greece, the city won the Persians. And the city was captured Alexander, and the Greek was destroyed only thanks to large tribute. After the collapse of the empire Alexander the Great, the city was part of the Seleucid Persian and later part the kingdom Pergamon century. And Apollons of Perga was born and lived here, one of the three great geometers of antiquity. In the 2 centuries, Perga was continued by Romans and became part of the Roman Empire. The city reached in a peak in the Roman period, so all the ruins have survived to our times belong to the Roman period. There was a mint, Perga, where the iron coin was minted. Artemis of Perga was considered by patrons of the city. The statue of Artemis of Perga discovered in the city is now displayed in the Archaeological Museum of Antalya. In the beginning to our era, the city became an important center of the pre-Christianity. This is evidenced by the reference to number martyrs from Perga. It was here that the Apostle Paul missionary trip to the Asia Minor began. Hellenistic Gate. Perga begins with the Syriac gate. The inner gate is from the Hellenistic period. Of the outer gate is from Roman period. The most photographed element in Perga is the Hellenistic gate, which was erected in the 3rd century. Through the gate, you can go to the Colonnade Street, where the ruins agora is located in the right side, and the bars are located on the left. Agora Market Square, made in the form of square with sides of 75 meters. Roman baths. The baths attest to the earth of the inhabitants of the city in Roman period and among the sheer size and luxury. From the inside, the walls of the halls of the baths were lined with marble and the floor was mosaic. In effect, these were not so much baths are places for communication, full rest, and leisure activities. The central heating system with underfloor heating and hypoacoustic wheels are very clearly visible here. With the help of furnaces, water and air were heated, which then circulated under the floor and in the cavities of the walls. Agora Market Square. Built up with Cologne shopping malls, the Agora of the city Perga has an area about 75 meters and dates back to the 2nd century. In the central part of the Agora, there are ruins of ruined temple. Stadium and theater. In the Roman era, the size of them increased and even stepped over the fortress walls. The theater and stadium are located outside city walls. The ancient stadium held 12,000 people. It was one of the largest city stadiums in Asia Minor at the time, built in the 2nd century. Greco-Roman theater was designed for 15 thousand spectres. The stage of the theater consists of many arched niches decorated with magnificent statues of gods and emperors. Bas-relief duplicate scenes from the life of the god Dionysus, the patron saint of winemaking, and the theater were also made on the stage of the theater. The theater is located to the public, to possibility falling stones and ongoing multiple restoration. If you ask me, I had If you ask me, I had say that both Taraz and Perge are very beautiful ancient series. They serve as a pupil in their time, for example, the production of non-ferrous metals, ceramics, and trade. Handicrafts is very well developed in Taraz, and Perge at the one time is designed by a beautiful architecture. The main feature of the city of Perge was the gate, marble, mosaic, and fountain. If we talk about the similarity of the two series, then what is happening is rapidly developed on the bus series. The creation of bus house, fountain, and grids was for two. Thank you for your attention.